I'm not giving a spiel. I'm just talking with people one-on-one. So.
Yeah, I was just like, saw the email and wanted to pop in and say hi.
Cool. Hello.
So good seeing you.
Oh, good to see you.
So,
Hi.
Hi. I am wondering if, I had kind of talked to you about if there's any more in your research that you have found around the brain stuff with the acetylcholine in terms of people that have trouble with memory and like that's more advanced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So specifically, I'll give you the generic overview, and then we'll see if like what lands or what direction to go from there. So the acetylcholine is kind of like the core foundational element that allows everything else to function better. So that one is first, and then everything else seems to be. The second thing is around dietary, removing the diet stuff that's causing irritation, inflammation, and then the third one is regeneration of the issues that are going on there. Like when you did the what is that stuff called? The nootropic that you took.
Modafinil.
Modafinil. So things got clearer for you, right? Did it feel like your brain was working again?
Well, it felt like my brain was working, but I would say that it didn't feel, I mean, I didn't do it a lot. So it was more like I just felt really good and clear, but I still was having trouble remembering things.
Got it. So there isn't a lot in the literature around it. The research is usually very specific towards people who have advanced stages of brain disorders, dementia, a lot of the old age, Parkinson's disease, intense brain degeneration. The research that's out there on other things is all subjective and just people's, well, I did this and this helped, and I did that and this helped, and it's kind of helter-skelter. The general concept is how can we provide the brain with everything that it needs in order to be optimal, and then give that time to do that. So it's one of those, the nutrition component and having the DHA. Some people will say DHE, but most people say the DHA. And let me pull up the brain one here. I'm singing Christmas songs. I can't believe it.
Oh, that's bad.
We resorted to Christmas song. I don't know where these come from. They just kind of pops into my head, and I'm like, okay.
They don't have Thanksgiving songs. That's why.
That's what it is. They need to come up with Thanksgiving songs. Okay, let me zoom window. Let me just grab my correct window here. There we go. Almost there.
Oh, that's okay. So when you're talking about, so one of the questions I have, I'm just going to keep asking you here, is, if, is there, in my mind, it seems like, the diet and, is kind of foundational.
Mm-hmm.
And is, and making sure that what you're taking is that your body has the capacity to use what you're taking.
Right.
And so I'm wondering how that, how the diet, it's like if somebody's massively using sugar, for instance, which to me seems like a core thing, then how does that affect the absorption of the nootropics and the aminos?
The thing that messes with amino acids specifically is protein. That's the only thing that competes is protein. So because amino acids generally come from protein, what happens is there's a limited gateway into the brain through the blood-brain barrier, and only a certain amount of stuff can flow through there at one time. So if you have digesting protein and it's sending through a lot of stuff, the amino acids you want may not get through there at that time. That's why we have you take the amino acids first, let that stuff get through, and then eat, and then all the rest gets through. Okay,
so you're not feeling like there is, so it's a matter of what you're eating when, what you're taking when, as opposed to
yes.
what you're eating, period, getting in the way.
Yes. Yes. It's a timing issue. Amino acids is just a timing issue. You want to at least 20 minutes before you get those things in. Like today, I rushed and I took all my amino acids at one time, and then I didn't wait. I just kind of let them all go through, and not everything went through because I could tell I still was feeling like a little bit of anxious and a little bit of stressed out. Like, so I knew that they all tried to hit at one time and it didn't work. So I retook the two that felt like they weren't in full, and then that went okay, and then I ate. But
okay, so that was because you were taking them all at once?
I took all 4 of them at the same time, which I don't often do, and I've been exploring with how much is it an issue of separating it and how much is it beneficial to keep them apart. I've been testing to see like how big of a deal is that. Sometimes I can take all 4 of mine at the same time, fine. Other times, no, I have to separate them. So as a
and how long do you separate them then?
In some cases, only by 10 or 15 minutes.
Which with 4 of them could be a long time.
So I found there are some that I can put together. Like I can put my dopamine ones together, and those 2 are fine. I can put my GABA and serotonin ones together, and those are fine. It's almost like, and I haven't figured it out because it's not always the case, but it seems like sometimes like certain ones will compete with other ones, and they'll get in the door and they'll, I don't know, plug up the door. I don't know. I don't get it. But so it's fuzzy. It's not always consistent. But
yeah, because
you can test it out and find out when you know what, for instance, your GABA does, and you take it with something and you find, yeah, I'm not feeling the effects of it. You know, there was competition going on there. So you can, there are certain ones that I know you can put together, and other ones, or I think I know you can, at least in my body, you can put them together. Your body may be different. I don't know.
Yeah. So what are the ones that seem to you to be more competitive?
It's hard to, I can say that the mixing the tyrosine and so I know that serotonin and GABA together seem to work fine. I've been doing those together for months, and I don't think I've ever had an issue with it, or rarely ever had an issue with it. So those are safe together. The tyrosine and L-phenolphthalein, which you're not using the L-phenolphthalein, you're just using tyrosine. But that one, those two were okay together.
And you all take them in capsules?
I take all mine in capsules. Yes.
Okay, so like I take all mine under the tongue.
Yeah, I don't like the taste of them.
Oh, I know. That tyrosine is horrible.
Ugh, yeah.
But both the T ones are terrible.
Yeah,
But,
and so there's also a different dose taking it under the tongue versus whether you orally take it.
okay.
So that, like, it's almost twice as strong taking it under the tongue as it is if you just ingest it. So mixing in water and just drinking it isn't sublingual, isn't under the tongue.
Right.
But if you actually keep it under the tongue and leave it there for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, then that you need about half the dose.
Okay. Because I was kind of wondering about that because, I'm still exploring because I got the new ones and I was having a really hard time yesterday. It just seemed like I think things were competing because I wasn't waiting maybe long enough. But
so what did you take yesterday?
Let me just see here. Well, the 3 that I am supposed to take 4 times a day is the tryptophan, the tyrosine, and the choline.
Okay, so tyrosine,
I think
you don't have high symptoms on. So did you get the what's it called? L-theanine?
Or theanine, that's the one. Theanine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
those 3, tryptophan, theanine, and choline.
So the choline, did you get like a CDP choline, or are you still using bitrate?
Bitrate.
Okay.
My body loves the taste of the bitrate choline.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Are you being? Oh, cool. That's yeah. I have it. I don't think I gave it up a long time ago when I found something better. So how did your body like the L-theanine? Or what dose? And what dose did you take?
I think I don't have the scale yet, so I am using a 1/4 teaspoon and just really asking my body exactly how much to take. But I think I'm taking them too close together, like
got it.
And I'm doing it under the tongue, and I kind of ended up with a headache.
So headache wouldn't come from L-theanine. It's unlikely to come from tryptophan. It's potential to come from choline bitrate.
Okay.
So that's a symptom of too much choline.
Well, it might be having them, 3 in a row, like not waiting a long time. No.
Because like each one has a certain effect. You can taking them all too close, you can get at that something won't go through, but what wouldn't go through there would be probably L-theanine, so you wouldn't feel relaxed and calm. The bit rate, does that go through the blood-brain barrier? Yeah, that does too. But like the side effect is either of not having it there or having too much, and neither L-theanine or tryptophan have a side effect of a headache for too much or not enough. But choline bitrate has a side effect of having not enough can be a headache, and having too much can be a headache.
Okay.
So I would say that's a choline thing.
Okay.
So and
okay.
recognize that your dosing is going to be different under the tongue versus taking it any other way.
Okay.
So that is there a reason you're doing it under the tongue?
Well, I'm doing it under the tongue to get it there faster. You know, like
Okay.
that.
So the difference might be 5 minutes.
And the other reason is that I don't have capsules.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So you can also just mix it in water and drink it.
Okay.
And that
it's just as effective.
It's just as effective, and you're less likely to have an overdose reaction.
Okay.
Because the amount, so like for choline bitrate, I'm taking, well, I'm not taking the choline bit. For the acetylcholine category, I'm taking 25 milligrams, which is a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. It's actually just a little pile on the piece of paper. It's tiny. And if you're under the tongue, it's half of that.
Oh.
So you could get an overdose on choline simply more easily by taking it under the tongue.
Okay. Okay.
So I wouldn't recommend that, especially like if you had a scale and you knew precise, yeah, okay. But like it goes in quick. If you're on an empty stomach with these, the difference may be a difference of 5 minutes between under the tongue versus taking it, ingesting it, drinking
Okay.
it.
And still like 10 minutes between. I have been doing like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's best to give time between.
Okay.
The doing them 1, 2, 3 is going to give you kind of more random results.
Okay.
Which sounds like what your experience is a bit.
Well, yeah, I think that I can't really tell the difference in what L-theanine does, L-tryptophan does, and what choline does.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. And in terms of measures like L-theanine, so let's ask Body. So Rosie Body, how much L-theanine on a regular basis would be beneficial? A quarter of a capsule, a half of a capsule, 3/4 of a capsule, a whole capsule. What do you get?
You said a quarter and then a half? A half.
Half. Okay, yeah. I got half and 3/4. So
okay, so I've been doing about a quarter.
Okay. Yeah, so you may not have enough in there.
Okay.
L-theanine is very, very friendly. You could take 2 capsules, and it's kind of like being stoned. It's sort of like pot.
Okay.
But it's a mellowing kind of feeling. But you don't necessarily want to feel mellow during the day. You want to feel functional. So you don't kind of want that much of it. But your body told me that half is ideal. If you feel a bit more stressed, take 3/4.
Okay. And tryptophan.
Tryptophan. So body for tryptophan, so authentic Rosie Body. How much, so how about a quarter of a capsule? How about
that's
half?
powder on that, so.
Oh, you have, okay. So your measure is what? Your smallest measure?
Well, I just use the 1/4 teaspoon measure.
Okay. So how about less than a 1/4 teaspoon? A 1/4 teaspoon?
It's definitely less than a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay.
More than a 1/4 teaspoon.
Okay, say it again. A 1/4 teaspoon, less than a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm getting less than a 1/4 teaspoon.
And that feels heavy. Say the other one.
A 1/4 teaspoon?
Say more than.
More than a 1/4 teaspoon?
Yeah. I would say at least a 1/4 teaspoon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would say
Okay.
at least. So tryptophan is another friendly one.
Okay.
You could take a whole tryptophan. How do I describe how that feels? Tryptophan still evades my capacity to describe. It's a little bit like being stoned. No, I don't have a really good way of defining it, but I could take a whole one and it's more of a mellowing. I don't feel functional on a whole capsule. So your quarter,
Teaspoon.
let me go grab my quarter teaspoon measure here and see what amount that is. Hang on, please. Okay. So I can't even begin.
I'm hoping if Karen or Adrian want to say something, they just pop in.
Oh, okay. So Karen already chatted. Adrian may have. Hi, Adrian. Do you have a question?
I don't want to hog things.
Yeah. No, just hold on the line, and I'll keep measuring your stuff. Hi, Adrian. Yeah, I don't know how to measure with this. It's a really lousy teaspoon scale. Let me try. Okay, so I have my quarter teaspoon. Let's weigh that and see what that is. That's 461 milligrams. And the whole capsule is, I never weighed it because I don't work it that way. That's fascinating. Well, let's find out.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
So 460 milligrams and whole capsule is about 750 milligrams. So quarter teaspoon, no, it's a little bit more. Hang on. It's about 800 milligrams. Okay.
So it's about a half capsule.
So that's about a half a capsule. Yeah. So I take tryptophan in 2 doses. I use quarter capsule or half capsule. So if my normal day-to-day things flowing, I do a quarter capsule. If I'm feeling worried, anxious, attacked, I'll take a half a capsule. So I'll take a quarter teaspoon. So I would say from somewhere like a quarter teaspoon is a strong thing for me.
Yeah.
That's my highest dose, but I've taken a whole capsule before and it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference. It's almost like it just doesn't get used. Like it doesn't hurt. I don't feel side effects from it for the most part. It just is extra.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think I haven't been taking a quarter teaspoon of that.
Okay. So I'd say anywhere from a half of a quarter teaspoon to a quarter teaspoon, but you're
so let me say a half of a quarter teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon, more than a quarter teaspoon. I should be taking a quarter teaspoon.
That's what I get too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes more.
And serotonin is high it's higher for you. So yeah.
Okay. And then the choline, wow, I probably take a quarter teaspoon.
Okay, so
Quarter to a half of a quarter teaspoon.
choline.
Choline
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. I don't have numbers for choline bit rate.
Well, your CD.
Okay, so let's do the. So you take a quarter of a quarter. Now that's under the tongue or a quarter of a quarter swallowing.
It's all under the tongue.
Okay. Okay. So I would stop using that under the tongue. Because
Okay.
your capacity to take too much on that is so easy.
Okay.
I would take that just orally, even though you like the taste.
Okay.
Because if you're you can get a headache or head pressure from not having enough choline, and you can get head pressure, headache from having too much choline. When it's optimal, there's no head stuff going on.
Yeah, I haven't had any head stuff going on except yesterday.
Yesterday, okay.
I've been taking it for quite a while.
Okay,
but
good.
Haven't been taking it, as many times a day. So.
Oh, so yesterday you took it twice a day?
I'm up to 3 times.
3 times a day. Okay. So Rosie Body, how much? So what is it like if you take it once a day? What is it like if you take it twice a day? What is it like if you take it 3 times a day? What is it like if you take more than 3 times a day?
Well, I'm getting 3 times a day.
Yeah, I get that too. So, but what happens is as you get more in the system, you may find that less is required.
Okay.
So like how much of that your brain uses and how long it stays in the brain is kind of the question. So like by your second dose, you may have still some bobbling around up there and you don't even need as much on the third dose.
Okay.
So that'll be kind of a trial and error. But if you get a headache, then you simply have too much of it.
Well, and it might be doing it all together with the other 2.
It won't produce a headache.
Okay. All right.
That won't produce a headache. It may make it that other things don't go in, but it won't create a headache. Headache is strictly from that one.
Okay.
That one item.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. So it seems like I should get some of this CDC or CDP, whatever it is, choline.
Well, you can use that, and it does work. The catch is just it's the dosing thing that's messing with you. That's it. It's just the dosing thing.
Okay.
Do you have a scale on order? Did you find a solution to that?
Well, the problem is, it's going to be coming from Vietnam, and so I thought I had a card, that I could use online.
Right.
But the card that I have is only for, doing it in the machine here. So I'm in process with getting another card that is a debit card.
Okay, very good.
It takes like 10 days to get that sucker.
Got it. And you can't use any of your other cards?
Well, I am thinking it's not a good idea because, I don't know, things are so funny here that if I'm getting it here, I should be having the card for here.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I'll try the other, but.
Well, I mean, if you don't want to, then it's just.
Yeah. Hopefully it would be quicker, but.
So, okay. So this is online you're ordering it? Or in person?
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
It's
okay.
not local. It's not local in Hanoi.
Got it. Okay. Well, what's the company you're ordering it from?
That Lazada or whatever you call it.
Oh, Lazada. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I use my American credit card with that as well. I'll
Oh, you
use
do?
my American credit card, or I'll use my local Thailand credit card. Yeah.
So is that a credit card or a debit card?
Same. As long as it's got MasterCard or Visa.
Okay. All right. Well, let's try that then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I use both interchangeably with Lazada.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Okay.
is there anything else you get from Lazada besides for this besides the scale?
I just got an Ethernet cable.
Okay.
So I order occasionally things that eBay, like sometimes I get eBay, but sometimes it takes forever to get it shipped by eBay. And if I can get it, sometimes Lazada has localer sources.
Okay.
Like getting the longer Ethernet cable yesterday, I could get it locally, more local with Lazada than eBay.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
So with more, I'd kind of written you about my friend who seems to be having, in the last year, quite dramatic dementia.
Mm-hmm.
So the first line of defense would be the aminos, then from what you're saying. And then
No.
the lectins.
No. Let me pull up dementia. So that really is about their symptoms. So let me stop sharing here. So that really is about their symptoms. So can you get them to take the neurotransmitter test?
I can do that.
Okay. Dementia. I don't know how you spell dementia. Oh, there it is. Okay. Dementia. Yeah. So so dementia is basically an overall category that just says there's some brain stuff going on here. It's not very specific. Acetylcholine. Yeah. So my first gut, I wanted to double check it, but my first gut was that acetylcholine, dementia and acetylcholine. So all the brain stuff starts with acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is so what acetylcholine does is it creates a fluidity in the brain, literally. Like if you don't have a lot of acetylcholine, the brain actually dries out. There's not enough liquid there. So first thing it does is it brings liquid to the brain, which allows more things. It enables other things to function better. So amongst other things, they'll often call it fluidity because it actually literally has to do with liquid in the brain. I would say the first thing is acetylcholine. Almost all the literature that I've read that is pharmaceutical based, and there's not as much because pharmaceuticals, that they all start with acetylcholine. That's like they talk about it in terms of, well, of course we first handle giving them a choline source, then we and that's where everybody gets different.
So it seems like first having them take the test, my suggestion was going to be for them to order your book.
Well, take the test first so they can find.
Test first, but to order the book so they have a sense of what the whole amino thing is about. And then would you have like a price for them to have a direct consultation with you? Because it seems like like that would be really helpful. Now I was going to, first, talk to them about the lectins, because that I think could be, messing with the basic foundation. Like they've always had good, healthy eating, but lectins can be part of what people think is a healthy eating, like for me too.
Yeah. See, so for me, the order in which I handle things is quiz comes first.
Yeah.
Because I need to see the data. I need to know what's going on in the brain. Even before buying the book, like quiz tells you something about what's going on. Then, and that's free online. Like just go to, and I can send you a link if you don't have one. And get the profiles so you see what the 5 neurotransmitters are doing. Then based on that, see, because they may just have acetylcholine things. They may have a profile that looks closer to yours, and it's mostly about getting most of the brain stuff going on. And so the whole amino acid thing is more of a distraction. It can be like, and then the diet comes second. First, we want to get the neurotransmitters everything back online again.
Okay.
Then you look at the diet, because it's almost like the emergency of getting everything connected first.
Okay.
Like, let's get the heart working and the breathing going, and then we'll talk about food. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those kind of things.
Okay. Because I was kind of thinking of it from the other end, but.
And if they've got already a diagnostic around dementia, this is it's been going on a long time. The historicals around getting out, the research around getting out of those is sparse. And it's not like if people who have GABA, DOPA, serotonin issues going on, it's almost the solution is almost instantaneous. You take your powder, and 10 minutes you're different. The brain stuff is not like that, and the longer the brain stuff has been going on, it's going to take a little bit longer for that to be changed. But everything seems to be coming back to getting acetylcholine up, and then how can we give the brain the nutrients it requires to get more in line. So that's in the book, the part that talks about brain regeneration. It's those kind of supplements.
Okay. That's good, because I'm gonna what I was hearing is that it's been about a year, but it seems like it's very dramatic.
Yeah. And so this isn't going to be a black and white solution like other things are. But I have them take the quiz and check and see if their doctor is giving them a choline source. And if the doctor's not giving a choline source, they need to find a new doctor. Like, that's basic.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a doctor involved at this point.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good. Yeah, so then you want to start them on choline source, DHA, lion's mane, methyl B12, and PS100. It's like there's things that are known support for brain issues, and I would totally start with those.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just But I think that it would be good for them. I mean, that's like the main thing. Like, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
The brain.
Yeah.
So PS100, lion's mane. Okay.
So it's I actually can't pronounce it. PS. Let me see. I don't have it handy. But but the abbreviation is for PS. They usually do PS 100 because it's 100 milligrams. But it's in your book.
Yeah.
It's this big long name. It's about that long. I tried to pronounce it yesterday, and I couldn't even figure out how to pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling the fecal transplant is really.
And that can, so the fecal transplant handles, so it's like, my way of perceiving this now is that the core of the issue is actually that the body's digestive is not producing enough of the nutrients. So the FTM, fecal transplant, I don't know, and whatever that is, that actually solves the core, the root problem. The amino acids are actually the emergency, but they'll actually also rebalance your system. So in the long run, but the fastest solution seems to be to handle the colon stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so are you available for, like.
So the program, the Be Your Body, or Feel Good in Your Body program, is actually a support program. So it provides a level of support where, depending on which one of them you choose, you get a private session a month with me. That you get sessions like this where it's just open line and people come in and ask their questions. I call them office hours. So you get, I'll have at least 2 office hours a week, and you get email contact.
Right.
So it's a program for support. That's primarily what it is. And it's in untangling all kinds of things, sleep issues, anything that comes up. But we start with balancing your transmitters first.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's actually what that program is. And that's got different levels to it. It's 147 at the moment, 147, 127, or 99, depending on how much support, how much time you spend with me, want with me.
Yeah.
So that would be the program for somebody who's got a lot of complicated stuff. I'd say that you want to have that personalized, like we can do this stuff.
Right. But I'm just wondering if people would need just like a.
So you would get the highest level, you would get the platinum level, and that gives you a private session with me. And so you start out private session, we untangle, we get recommendations, and then get a game plan. And then the weekly stuff is just checking in on the game plan.
Okay.
Karen, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. There you are. Yay! I like when it works.
I was trying to, thought I had to unmute my audio.
Actually, it sounds very nice and clear now. What can I help you with?
I don't actually have any questions because I just printed out your book
Oh, cool. Okay.
this morning, so I haven't gone through it yet. So
okay.
I just thought maybe I would.
Yeah. So awesome.
Some questions that other people might ask.
Yeah. Well, actually, so do you have the book handy?
Yes.
Can you see the front page at the very bottom? There's a version number. Can you tell me what version that is?
Sorry, you said the very front page?
Yeah. At the bottom, like left-hand side, it says VER and then a number like 7 point something.
7.8.
7.8. Okay, so you have the newer version.
Yes.
I'm in the process of changing a lot of it. I found that the trial process that I've got a slightly more accurate way of doing it, and I want to rely on a more accurate way of doing it. Let me pull up that version and double check. What was your highest score?
You know what? I never did the quiz yet, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. So then actually
Yeah.
just do the
So
one in the.
I kind of did this stuff. I got it printed out, and but yeah, I hadn't done the quiz, so I don't even know yet.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Mhm.
So what caused you to decide that this was something that could be potentially useful for you?
I just thought it sounded, really interesting, and I guess I was curious too about the, you know, always identifying as an introvert. That,
Yeah.
that would be interesting, right? If there could be some shifts and whatnot there. So
That one blew my mind. I had difficulty believing that one, or not believing. Like I experienced it first, and then I'm like, "What is that?" And why is it that there's sometimes I could be totally happy being out, and other times I just want to go hide in a corner somewhere. And like I didn't seem to have any control over it. It just kind of came in and out. It actually, yeah, it had everything to do with the balances of my neurochemistry. It's fascinating stuff. It's absolutely fascinating stuff.
Yeah. So again, just going back to the intro call that you've done, because I've only listened. I did listen to that a couple of times, and again, it was just really fascinating. All of it, even though I'm not dealing with any specific health issues, I thought, oh, this is really interesting. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, very nice. Yeah. So in the book, let's see, what page is that for you? I think it's page 28. It should start the page. Actually, I rechanged it on this version.
Mine starts with dosage.
Yes. So 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So circle B, where it says take the smallest minimum dose from the common dosing chart.
Okay.
I'm going to eliminate A because I found that people can kind of tangle it up, and I want something that's untangleable or that you can't tangle up. So do the B one, and I'm going to make that more clear. So you've got a variety of things going on. And let me see if I have. Yeah, so it's not clear. Yeah, everything was set to the divide by 5 or divide by 6 process. And I'm finding that's, for some people, it works great. And for other people who are more sensitive, it still can be too much. So I'm going to go back to the safest way, and that's to, so basically on page 30.
Okay. Yeah.
So you should see a chart with all the different colored.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a column there kind of in the middle that says lowest seen.
Yeah.
So I would start with that. So let's say you're working on the green one in the middle there that says L-theanine. So you would start with 30 milligrams of L-theanine, and then you would, in 20 or 30 minutes, take another 20 milligrams. And then in another 20 or 30 minutes, you would take another. So you're basically going to start at the lowest amount and keep taking a little bit more every 20 or 30 minutes until you see, wow, okay, this is doing something. Or it starts to not, until it starts to do symptoms that are like, yeah, this feels like it's too much. So you're looking, you're going to do it by starting the lowest level and slowly building until you find an optimum. And sometimes you have to go a little bit past it into, like with L-theanine, you might start to feel not sleepy, but like sluggish. And then you know, okay, that's too much. So you stop before each one of the, you want to stop in the optimal range. But sometimes going past the optimal range actually gives you good information because you know where your numbers are.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I will rewrite that very soon, probably within the next couple of days, and then I'll send out a link to re-download. I'll let everybody know that I've updated it, and basically I'm just going to change to that. That's the other thing that I'm changing in there is I had in there a thing that said try each one for a week, and like, so in other words, if GABA is your area and the green, the L-theanine, actually I can pull this up on the screen rather than trying to do it blind. If you find that you're, okay, so here now you can see what I'm saying. If you find that that GABA, the green one, is something that you're working on, so in the book originally it said, so start with just one item and then spend a week dialing that in. And for some things that might be useful, and for some people that might be useful, for other people it's just too slow. So I'm going to take that out. So everywhere it says like wait a week, like throw that out the window.
Okay.
Because it won't be in there anymore.
So it's going to be more just ask your body then.
Yeah, it's about, you're going to find, so which one of them are your, so you're going to take all the different quizzes, and then you're going to add up the severity rating. So you're going to label each one of the symptoms you have 1 to 10, and then you'll total that and you put that in your severity score. And then on the neurotransmitter profile, you'll put on this chart dopamine, serotonin, GABA, acetylcholine, endorphin, and figure out which one is highest for you.
Right.
And then you'll work on whichever one kind of lights up the most for you. Most people, I'd kind of recommend that if you have anything with serotonin or GABA going on, start there first. Because that kind of calms things down, de-stresses things, then you can go elsewhere. So that's also going to be a change. Originally I said to do dopamine first, and for some people, works great. For other people who have issues with stress or kind of not feeling confident or easygoing, the higher dopamine could make them anxious. So if we do serotonin, GABA first, then do dopamine, you're not going to feel anxious. You'll feel calm and mellow, and it'll all be good. So those.
Remind me, which page is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking at my screen. So it's.
Oh, I am looking at your screen.
Okay,
I just
page 19.
Page 19? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, right, because you're trying to find it in your book.
Yeah. Okay, so I've marked those. But again, my question was, when you're saying with those waiting a week where it seemed too slow, then what criteria are you suggesting then for instead of waiting a week? Got it.
So you could, depending on how fast you can trial them, because you're going to take, let's say, without knowing your score, it's difficult. Let's say that you had high, your GABA was high. I'm just making them down. Although intuitively, I think serotonin is more of your thing. So I'll use serotonin. So it's like, let's say this is your highest one. Then you'll start here. You'll take whichever one of them that you're going to, the intuitive thing comes in deciding which one you want to take for serotonin. whether you want to take tryptophan or 5-HTP.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of checking in with your body and seeing how it feels. And that's something, if we're online, we could do that check together and see which one reads more for your body. But whichever one you pick, then you'll just try that one out. You'll try at the lowest dose and then wait 20 minutes and then add 20 milligrams, take another 20 milligram dose, and then wait another 20 minutes and then take another 20 milligram dose. And you keep going until it feels optimal or it goes too far. And in the book, I show you what optimal is and what too far is. So when you do that, you're going to then find, okay, so let's say 100 milligrams of 5-HTP is what my body feels good to me. That's, you write that down, then that's your serotonin level. And then you move on to the next one. So that you could possibly do that in a half hour, let's say an hour, you could figure out your serotonin, and then you could explore with the GABA.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Rather than waiting a week trying serotonin and seeing how that feels, you just move into GABA. You'll learn over time. I'm weighing the dance of awareness of these things, and not everybody necessarily wants to or cares. They just want to feel better. They don't care about how each one feels in the body. So waiting the week is kind of too slow.
Okay.
Yeah. And over time, you get used to learning which one does what and how it feels when it's in your body and when it's not in your body.
Okay.
So.
And have you had any feedback as far as the products? Because again, I hadn't even looked and whatnot, because I'm in Canada. If like the ones was it iHerb and Amazon, I think, right?
Those were, and I think both of those, I think Amazon ships to Canada, don't they?
Yeah, Amazon.ca.
Okay. Yeah. So you have either choice.
It's just not every product. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right. So iHerb will send every product. So
yeah, you said they were good internationally. So okay.
So it actually, you may find, depending on, it doesn't sound like it's urgent for you, so waiting may not be an issue. But if you want, you can go to any bigger health food store, and they may have quite a few of them already. But if you're not in a hurry, then ordering it may be the cheapest and simplest way to do it.
Yeah, I had not checked locally or anything yet. So.
Cool. Other questions?
I don't have any other questions. No, other than diving in this week and starting to.
Yeah. So take the different quizzes that you have, and they start early on. Let's see, what page does that start on? 14 starts on page 14. Take those 5 quizzes, and that will show you exactly what needs to be balanced. Totally, exactly right up.
Okay.
And you'll find that just balancing those will automatically get the confidence, and because there's a piece of confidence in there about being out. There could be a piece of energy in there, like if your energy level is not high enough, you're not going to want to be out. You're not going to be an extrovert because your energy level's too low, and that's just a natural body reaction. That's just the way bodies are. So
yeah, wonderful.
So
Thank
give
you.
that a try.
Okay.
And if you have questions, email me.
Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. And
good night.
Good night. And,
oh, sorry, you're gonna.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna chat with other people.
Okay. Good night.
You're welcome to hang on or not. Good night.
Okay.
Yeah. So Emer, I think it's. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Are you on? I hear you whispering. Hi there. Hello.
Oh, I'm just wondering where the audio was. That was all
Oh,
on my
got it.
computer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hi.
hadn't actually intended it's good morning from
Oh,
India.
good
but
morning.
but I hadn't actually intended to say anything, Jason.
Oh, no
I was
worries.
I was just more I'm just more sort of assessing if this is something that's going to be useful for me. I
Yeah.
have lots of the issues, that you've chatted about. I've watched some of your previous sessions on this.
Yeah.
So I just tuned in really just to see, get a bit more depth around it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So are
But
there
thank you.
specific things that you're looking to change?
I'm exhausted most
Okay.
of the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm looking at serotonin and I could probably tick everything there,
Right.
just on the screen there. So, I mean, I'd have lots of, I think I have lots of issues, I mean, all of them really, when I looked at the quizzes, I thought I would have, I could tick a majority of the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I just quickly looked at, I didn't do the quiz, but
Got
I
it.
just looked
Okay.
at it and I thought, oh, I can probably tick most of those boxes in most of that, for most of those criteria.
Right.
So, yeah.
So have you actually taken the quiz yet?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
I'm in my investigative phase.
I see. Well, that's actually part of the investigating, because
Yes.
that gives you the most direct information about what's going on. Yeah. So
Sure.
chances are, if you have low energy, that's automatically the dopamine. That's automatically the first one.
Yes.
Do you? Where's my little sheet here? So do you feel normally positive, confident, easygoing, stable?
No,
Okay.
the opposite. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be serotonin. Do you feel relaxed, stress-free, calm, and content?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, so that's your GABA. And
Yeah.
how is the mind stuff? Do you feel like clear thinking and clear-headed?
I have a really difficult time with my mind in terms of a lot going on.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a variety of things going on there. Some of them can be that your brain doesn't have enough acetylcholine, which is something that your brain requires in order to kind of hum along and be, not hum along as in sing, but to work, to function optimally. But the key thing is that each one of these will affect the brain. So if your dopamine is low, then brain gets agitated. If serotonin is low, then brain gets anxious and it starts putting in like worried, obsessive kind of thoughts.
And I'm inclined, yeah. I mean, I can really relate to that, sort of been on a bit of a loop with stuff, that anxious, worried sort of mind that
and
comes
it probably comes and goes. Sometimes you kind of feel okay, and other times it's just really bad, right? It varies.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No worries.
Yeah, sort of feel it's a bit in the background most of the time, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Sort of seems to be my default, I think, is that anxious, worried,
Yeah.
I mean, without, broadcasting to the whole world, but I do have PTSD. So I think that I don't take any medication for it, but I think that would give you an idea of the complexity.
Well, see, so what's interesting is the medical establishment has not, the research around neurotransmitters is new. And like it's just happened in the last 10 years, and they're just kind of figuring out things. And because they don't have pharmaceutical solutions to it, because the actual solutions are actually very simple with just amino acids, there's nobody out there promoting it. There's nobody talking about the solutions to it. And so most doctors have no clue about it yet. They're just listening to the pharmaceutical company. So there are a lot of things, PTSD is definitely one of them, that
Mm.
they say like, oh, well, this is what you have. It's a diagnostic.
Yeah.
They don't have great solutions for it. There's like dozens of things that you can have that all come back to your neurotransmitters, that actually come back to your the gut biome, your digestive system, and not having enough of the right things in there to digest your food properly, so your brain's not getting the right chemicals. It's not getting the right amino acids. So it's not, what it does is like your energy circuits are not actually connected. So when you wake up and your brain sends up a signal saying, okay, she's awake, let's get rolling, only a small number of those circuits actually get activated. The rest are sitting there going, what do I do? Hello, what do I do? Because the amino acids that allow the circuits to connect and talk to each other aren't there. So it's actually so simple that it's most people are missing.
No, I can see. I mean, when I first saw the your presentation, I thought, no, there's something really valuable in it, you know. So I've been, you know, humming and hawing, and then I've been away. So I haven't really made a decision around it, but that's generally how I operate anyway. I take a while to make decisions. But it's interesting, Jason, around, I mean, I don't get hung up on the label. I'm only just telling you this. Because, and I'm also reluctant to take medications. You know, that's the other thing I have to get over. You know,
no. That's not a get over thing. That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, so I don't take any medication at all, other than my thyroid. But I just, you know, it's just something, it's also that sort of issue around, because my background is medical, so it's that issue around taking stuff and what are you taking and all of that. So there's lots of things to think about. Yeah.
And the catch with a lot of the pharmaceuticals is they don't understand the big enough picture when they created
of course.
And so most of them are actually affecting neurotransmitters, but they're doing it in a way where, like, instead of reconnecting all the circuits to get enough dopamine, they're shortcutting, they're turning off circuits that tell the dopamine transmitters to go away when they're expired. So they kind of hang out longer. Like they're manipulating the system. They're not giving it what the system needs. So they haven't had the big picture. And that's
they operate on very specific transmitters as well. So they're not looking at, as you said, the bigger picture in terms of the interactions with the whole system. It's a very, very small, narrow area, and they think if we manipulate that, we might get that result. But it often doesn't work out in terms of what's happening holistically.
Where this
anyhow.
So you're on the right track.
Yes, I think so, Jason. I feel it. You know, I feel fairly. Yes.
So I would start with the quiz, free. Like, there's no issue. There's there's no investment in it. It just takes a couple minutes to take, and then you'll get a sense of. It shows you where your different transmitters are, but you already have a pretty good sense of where they are. And then it's just a matter of getting those amino acids.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Jason, listen, you've been really generous with your time and, you know, and sort of your input, and I really appreciate it. So thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I'll when I get back to Oz, I'll organize all of this. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank you, and hopefully we talk again.
Yeah, very good. Enjoy your travels.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Jason. Take care.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.